Hey everyone, my name is Ethan McGee. I'm going to be showing you in this video how to actually create a GIS portfolio. One of the big things that a lot of mentors and people in the GIS industry promote is creating an online portfolio, but there's not a ton of resources out there to show you how to actually do that. So today I'm going to be showing you a portfolio that I built from scratch and some of the things that I did and the process that I took to get to my finished portfolio. So follow along. Hopefully this will be helpful. So the first phase that I want to cover is building a skeleton portfolio. This is basically just creating the actual portfolio itself. I went ahead and used Wix. Just one thing to note, I have already made a portfolio beforehand, so that's where I'm able to get a lot of the content already produced from it. This is what it looks like. I think it's okay. It's got all of the links and whatnot, but it's a little bit too conceptual. I just wanted to simplify my portfolio a bit. So I'm starting from fresh, and I'm using Wix again because I think that it's a good platform. Story Maps is another awesome option if you like using ArcGIS products. And I went and searched for a couple portfolios. This was one that I thought could be good. I liked how it was pretty basic and there were a lot of buttons. So I started uploading all of the media content to that, and then I started updating photos to be myself and background images and whatnot. And I just realized I really didn't like how it was coming together and didn't really like the pre-built portfolio. So then I went and looked at an AI, and that didn't look great. So basically I started from scratch and built it kind of from the ground up, and that's what I'm talking about with that skeleton is really getting the idea of what your portfolio wants to look like, look at other people's, and then start building it from that. So this is where I'm adding in some of those images and myself. I really wanted my face to be shown, but also that I'm into maps. And then I started building a color scheme for this, and I really liked kind of the dark blue. Wanted to make sure that it worked with color blindness tests, and then started to build that out. And this is kind of a work in progress, but just wanted to show you that initial step of when I'm building my portfolio. I really wanted to start creating kind of the concepts, and the home page is really important. I wanted 3 big buttons, one for my resume, one for my LinkedIn, and one for the rest of the portfolio. And then I moved on to phase 2, which is developing the actual content itself and the different sections within that. So this is kind of the majority of the work. You can see here I've got an about me where I've got a professional and personal. I really liked using emojis for this. I think it just makes it a little bit more personal, and I included some photos of myself. And then I went through and created a map gallery. And as you guys can see, there's a couple options with this. There's like the standard grid system. And that didn't work great because I have both vertical and horizontal maps. And so I went and found a section where the gallery can be responsive to the actual size, which I thought was really helpful. So I kind of updated that and included all the images. And then this is kind of the grunt work of what I had to do, is really just adding in all of this media, all of these images, and you can kind of see me working on this here. And I want to emphasize that this takes a really long time and a lot of concentration to go through and manually update these sections. But overall, it's going to be really worth it when an employer or somebody that you want it to work for will be able to see the work that you've already done and see the high quality of that work. So this is something that I worked on to promote some of the projects or things that I did in my current role that I think I'm really proud of and that I'd want to talk about more. I also included like notable awards and kind of broke that up into the different sections. So I think that looks pretty nice. But this whole section is really just developing that content, putting it all together in a way that makes sense. And then the third phase is cleaning up that information, adding hyperlinks, just making sure that it looks polished and professional. So you can see I'm kind of going through each section now and just kind of reviewing it and seeing. One thing that I noted is that my header didn't look great and my footer, so I updated that. And here's my final portfolio. So I've got resume, I've got my LinkedIn, and then I've got my portfolio itself, and all of those links work. And you can see that header is responsive. I can either scroll or I can click that and it'll go to the section that I want. I've got good contrast with some color, and it's a little bit easy to see. I've got all of my maps that I've included, but I've highlighted a couple different projects you can see here. And then I also included a section for community engagement where I'm able to kind of mess around with some of the other key things. And then again, that LinkedIn there. So some final notes with this: always be collecting content media. Really keep it basic, especially when you're first starting out. Be authentic and genuine. You really want this to reflect you as a whole. Highlight those best work. So obviously there's going to be a lot of content that you produce, maps, different things that you want to share on your portfolio. And that's kind of what the intended purpose is. But having that highlighted section, I think, is really useful. And describing it so that way the other person doesn't have to try to guess for you. You can just say, this is what I did, here's how I did it, and whatnot. Include other relevant experience. I didn't do this in my portfolio a ton, but I think that if you're able to provide other work experience that you think is relevant, or graphic design or something that's relevant, put that in there. Make sure to double check those hyperlinks, and definitely hyperlink it to your current resume and your LinkedIn. And then the biggest thing is just revise that portfolio as you grow. So again, this is a situation where I've already had one and now I'm just refining it, cleaning it up a little bit, and adding some sections of projects that I've worked on in the last couple of years. So that's a very quick overview of how to create a portfolio. If you want to learn a little bit more, I'll link this video that Kate Berg did a couple years ago that goes into detail on what actual sections you should put in your portfolio. But I think this video should help show you what that actual process looks like if you're either getting started or want to refine it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.